Today's video is about identity crisis. I have had a lot of experiences over the last 10 years which I would describe as an identity crisis. So I just wanted to talk a bit about that and about the experience. So for me, this happened quite suddenly. I was one person in my past life, if you like, up until my early 40s, and then all of a sudden something shifted quite dramatically and I saw a new personality emerging, which I seemed to have no kind of control over. Before that time, I'd always felt like I shaped my own life and was the person that I wanted to be. But when this happened to me, I realized that there was another underlying personality which I had suppressed, which was now coming through. And I would describe that as my true nature, or my soul. When I talk about that now, it feels quite beautiful. I think that is because I've come through this process. It is something I feel happy about, and I'm happy that I went through. But at the time, it was very disconcerting, because I was living my life in a certain way, and then started having experiences and thoughts and feelings which were completely alien to me, and that was very difficult to come to terms with, and caused a lot of stress and anxiety. And I think this is a cause for a lot of anxiety. It's when you're living out of alignment. So your true nature, if it was expressed, would be one personality and one type of person, but the life that you're living is completely different because it's based on social conditioning, it's based on schooling, it's based on society, and it's based on wanting to achieve and wanting to be approved of. So these two parts of ourselves can become very misaligned. And I think maybe it's something to do with being in the later half of life. People talk about midlife crisis, nervous breakdown. I use the word identity crisis because to me it was very much about who I was. If I meet somebody new, who do I introduce myself as? Quite often people will say the job that they do, or they'll talk about their family, their living circumstances maybe. But if that suddenly loses its meaning, then when somebody asks you if you meet somebody new and they ask, oh, what do you do? That question can become deeply difficult to answer, because in my case, I didn't identify with my job anymore. I didn't identify with my family circumstances. I was a Christian and I didn't identify with that anymore. So I was asking myself that question, like, who am I? If I'm not all those things that I've identified with all my life, who am I now? And I think it just does take time to come to terms with that. It's not about trying to continue how I was before. It's about allowing that new personality, those new characteristics to come through, but in a way that feels safe, in the sense of it's not overwhelming. So it's sort of like a gradual shift where one personality starts to fade more into the background and the new personality emerges and starts to shine. And it takes time. But once you can live from your true self and fully embrace your true nature, it is the most wonderful feeling just to be completely aligned with who you are. For me to be completely aligned with who I am.